You become what you think. The mind is the workshop of destiny. The battlefield of life is not out there. It's in here, inside the thoughts that whisper to your soul when no one else can hear. Every mountain you climb, every valley you walk through, every dream you dare to chase begins first as a thought. You are not shaped by your surroundings. You are shaped by your thinking. You can't walk in victory with a defeated mind. You can't see abundance with eyes trained on lack. You can't rise above if your mind is chained below. When you change your thoughts, you shift the axis of your whole world. The world doesn't move until your mind moves. The body doesn't follow until your belief leads. What you meditate on, you magnify. If you constantly rehearse pain, you will relive it. If you constantly declare failure, you will recreate it. But when you think in alignment with purpose, when you hold a vision bigger than your circumstances, when your thoughts begin to agree with your potential, everything changes. Your thoughts are the architects of your future. They are the blueprints of your destiny. There are people who have more resources than you, more education than you, more connections than you, but they cannot outthink you. Your thoughts are the one realm where no one has dominion but you. You have the power to create the atmosphere you live in through the meditations of your mind. If you think small, you live small. If you think fearful, you live trapped. But if you think bold, if you think in faith, if you think in divine possibility, you rise beyond the limits that used to define you. You've been waiting for a sign, waiting for a door, waiting for somebody to recognize you, but the real door is in your mind. As a man or woman thinks, so are they. You've got to start seeing yourself as the person you were designed to be, even when your circumstances haven't caught up yet. Speak to yourself like someone who knows their worth. Think thoughts that stretch you. Think thoughts that heal you. Think thoughts that bring peace in the middle of storms. Your thoughts are seeds. Every thought you plant grows into something. If you plant doubt, you harvest fear. If you plant faith, you harvest miracles. If you plant bitterness, you grow chains. But if you plant gratitude, you grow freedom. The soil of your soul will respond to whatever you sow in it. So stop planting weeds of worry and start planting gardens of greatness. Stop rehearsing what broke you and start envisioning what will build you. Stop thinking of what you lost and start thinking of what's still possible. It doesn't matter what people call you. What matters is what you call yourself when you're alone. The enemy doesn't fight your situation. He fights your mind because he knows if he can control your thoughts, he can control your life. That's why you have to guard your mind like it's treasure. Don't let toxic words, negative voices, or old memories take residence in your head. You can't think in freedom while renting space to fear. You can't think in victory while nursing the wounds of yesterday. There's a greater version of you that can only emerge when your thinking rises to meet it. You've got to reimagine who you are. You've got to stop replaying your failures and start rehearsing your future. You've got to think like someone who's already free, already whole, already equipped. Your thoughts are powerful enough to rebuild your world from ashes. Your thoughts can create roads where there are no maps. Your thoughts can pull destiny out of delay. So think bold, think higher, think like the one who created you had purpose in mind, because you don't just live what you believe, you live what you think. Every thought is a prophecy over your life. Every idea is a seed of possibility. So if you want to change your world, start by changing your mind. The transformation doesn't begin when things around you shift. It begins when your thinking does. You become what you think, so think like someone destined to rise. Think like someone who's already there. Think like someone who knows they were never ordinary. You become what you think. The power of thought is not just an idea. It's a force, a creative energy that molds your entire existence. The thoughts you carry are not invisible whispers, they are seeds planted deep within the soil of your soul. Every decision, every emotion, every direction in your life is rooted in the thoughts that dominate your mind. If you constantly think of failure, your steps will move toward it. If you dwell on fear, your life will be governed by it. But when you start thinking victory, speaking victory, living like victory is possible, then you begin to attract it, manifest it, walk in it. The mind is a powerful engine. It will take you wherever you decide to steer it. If you let it drift, it will drift into confusion, but if you guide it with focus and faith, it will carry you into destiny. You can't live in abundance while your thoughts dwell in lack. You can't expect success while feeding your mind with defeat. The greatest battles are not fought in public, they are fought in private within the walls of your own thinking. You can wear confidence on your face, but still carry fear in your thoughts. You can speak hope with your mouth, but rehearse doubt in your mind. And until your thinking changes, your life can't. You can't pour new wine into an old mindset. You can't rise into purpose while chained by old thought patterns. The mind must be renewed, reshaped, and restored to align with where you're trying to go. You can't think like a victim and expect to live like a victor. Every successful person, every great visionary, every world changer began with a thought. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is not in talent or opportunity, it's in thinking. The extraordinary think differently. They see possibility where others see problems. They think abundance where others see limitation. They imagine the unseen, believe the impossible, and refuse to be bound by the circumstances around them. They understand that what's in their head will eventually show up in their hands. If your thoughts are full of defeat, your life will echo defeat. But if your thoughts are full of purpose, faith, and perseverance, your life will begin to rise. Match them. What you meditate on becomes the soundtrack of your life. If you constantly meditate on your mistakes, you'll live in guilt. If you meditate on your fears, you'll walk in anxiety. But if you meditate on your potential, on what's still possible, on what could happen if you just dared to believe, your energy begins to shift. You attract different opportunities. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You stop chasing validation because your thoughts begin to validate you from within. The mind begins to paint pictures of hope, and those pictures give you the courage to move forward. When you think right, you live right. Your relationships, your attitude, your health, your progress, they all flow from the condition of your thoughts. A negative mind can't produce a positive life. You must train your thoughts to work for you, not against you. You must discipline your imagination to see beyond your current struggle. You must learn to speak to yourself the way you wish others would. You must choose thoughts that lift, not limit. Thoughts that build, not break. Thoughts that heal, not harm. Because every time you think something long enough, it becomes a belief, and every belief shapes your behavior. You can have the potential of a king, but the thoughts of a servant. You can have the calling of a leader, but the thinking of a follower. Until your thoughts match your purpose, you'll live beneath your design. Life is not determined by what happens to you, but by what happens in you. So if you want to change the way you live, you've got to change the way you think. You've got to guard your mind like it's sacred ground, because it is. What you feed it, it becomes. What you repeat, it believes. What you visualize, it creates. When you change your thoughts, you shift the axis of your entire world. Everything in your life begins with a thought. Before any action, before any achievement, before any transformation, there was a thought that started it all. Your outer life is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the pattern of your inner thinking. The moment Your thoughts change, the reflection changes. The world around you rearranges itself to match the picture inside your mind. That's why it's not the situation that holds you back. It's the way you think about the situation. Two people can face the same mountain, but one sees an obstacle and the other sees opportunity. It's not the mountain that's different, it's the mind that is. You have the power to shift your reality by shifting your thoughts. The energy you carry flows from the ideas you dwell on. When you think low, you move slow. When you think small, you live small. But when you begin to think beyond where you are, when you imagine possibilities beyond your current place, your entire being begins to elevate. The atmosphere responds to your inner world. When your thoughts rise, your energy rises. When your thoughts expand, your capacity expands. When your thoughts are full of faith, your world begins to open up in ways you never imagined. You can't rise with a defeated mindset. You can't conquer new territory with old thinking. The person you are today is the product of the thoughts you chose yesterday. The person you will become tomorrow will be shaped by the thoughts you are choosing today. Every thought carries creative power. You are literally constructing your future in the unseen realm of your imagination. That's why you must be intentional about what you allow to take root in your mind. Your thoughts are not harmless. They are builders. They are architects drafting the blueprint of your destiny. If you let fear sit too long, it will build walls. If you let doubt linger, it will build ceilings. But if you let faith lead, it will build doors. You must learn to think in alignment with where you're going, not where you've been. Too many people are trying to live a new life with an old mindset. You cannot walk into new seasons carrying the same thoughts that broke you in. Last one. If you keep thinking in circles, you'll keep living in cycles. You must challenge your own thinking. Question the lies you've believed about yourself. Break free from the limits you've accepted as truth. Don't let your thoughts be controlled by what you see. Let them be guided by what you believe. What you see can deceive you, but what you believe can deliver you. The way you think determines how you respond to life. When pain comes, do you think this is the end? Or do you think this is preparation? When rejection comes, do you think I'm not enough? Or do you think I'm being redirected? When challenges come, do you think I can't handle this? Or do you think I was built for this? Your mindset determines your response, and your response determines your outcome. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your peace. If you can control your peace, you can control your progress. Your thoughts create your emotional climate. You can't walk in joy if your mind is full of sorrow. You can't live with hope if your thoughts are anchored in despair. You must protect your mental space with the same intensity that a guard protects a gate. Don't let negativity enter. Don't let gossip plant seeds. Don't let comparison steal your focus. You don't owe everyone access to your thoughts. The mind is sacred ground, and only truth, faith, and possibility should dwell there. Once your thoughts change, your language changes. Once your language changes, your behavior changes. Once your behavior changes, your reality follows. It's a chain reaction that begins with one decision to think higher. When you train your mind to believe that you are capable, worthy, and destined for greatness, life begins to respond to that vibration. People start to see in you what you've begun to see in yourself. Opportunities align with your energy. Purpose meets preparation. The world opens up to the sound of your renewed thinking, because thought is the language of creation, and what you consistently think about, you eventually become. Your thoughts are seeds, and every seed produces after its kind. Whatever you plant in soil of your mind will grow and take shape in your life. You cannot plant negativity and expect joy. You cannot sow doubt and expect confidence. The law of the mind is just like the law of nature. You harvest what you plant. Every thought is a seed with power to create, to destroy, to heal, or to harm. Some people wonder why their lives never change, but they never stop to examine what they've been planting. They speak defeat to themselves in the morning. They rehearse failure throughout the day, and then they expect to reap success. You can't talk yourself down and think your life will rise up. You can't water your fears and expect your faith to bloom. You can't keep feeding your mind junk and expect it to produce strength. The mind is the soil where destiny grows. Every word you think, every image you replay, every belief you entertain is shaping the landscape of your future. You are living in the harvest of your past thoughts right now. The people you attract, the opportunities that come your way, even the peace or chaos in your life, they are reflections of what's been growing in your inner garden. That's why you must take control of what you allow to be planted there. You can't let every thought that knocks on the door of your mind come in and stay. You have to be the gardener, the protector, the keeper of your own soil. When a negative thought comes, uproot it before it takes root. When a lie tries to settle in, confront it with truth. When fear tries to grow, starve it by feeding your faith. There is power in the way you think about yourself. Some people live beneath their potential not because they lack talent, but because they've allowed weeds of insecurity to choke their confidence. You have to believe that you are worthy of good things. You have to think thoughts that affirm your value, your purpose, and your divine design. The world doesn't determine your worth, your thoughts do. If you think small, you'll shrink your opportunities. If you think unworthy, you'll sabotage your blessings. But if you think like someone who belongs in greatness, greatness begins to find its way to you. What you focus on expands. If you focus on what you've lost, you'll keep losing. If you focus on what's broken, you'll keep seeing brokenness. But if you focus on what's possible, if you focus on what remains, if you focus on what can still be built, your life begins to shift toward that direction. You move toward the picture that dominates your mind. That's why it's so important to visualize the life you desire, not the life you fear. Your imagination is a sacred space. It's where tomorrow's miracles are born. Don't waste it replaying pain when you can use it to preview purpose. Every thought carries a vibration, and that vibration calls similar energy into your life. That's why grateful people attract more to be grateful for, and bitter people find more reasons to complain. The mind magnetizes what it meditates on. If you dwell on peace, peace begins to surround you. If you dwell on strength, you'll find yourself standing taller. If you dwell on love, love begins to meet you in unexpected places. Life responds to the signal of your thoughts. You must be intentional with what you feed your mind. Guard what you listen to, what you watch, what you repeat. The world is full of noise designed to make you doubt who you are. You've got to silence the noise long enough to hear the truth of your own spirit. Replace thoughts that drain you with thoughts that empower you. Speak to yourself as someone who deserves to win. Remind yourself daily that you are capable of more than what you see. You don't have to wait for others to believe in you. Your belief is enough to ignite the process. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny, and your mind is the construction site. Every day you are building something, whether it's courage or fear, faith or failure, growth or stagnation. Choose to build something that will outlast the storms, something that reflects the greatness you carry within. You may not control what happens around you, but you can control what happens within you. If you can plant faith in the middle of failure, hope in the middle of pain, and purpose in the middle of uncertainty, you can transform any season into growth.